Assalamu alaikum everyone, welcome back to Clinic Management System, and today we are going to discuss and create a roles window and the users window. In the previous lecture we have started our database designing, and we have created two tables, that is roles and users table, and along with that I have also created the CRUD operation queries. That means insert, update, select, delete queries or stored procedures are also created in the previous lecture. So let's start and have a look what we have today with respect to the UI and the code in C#. Let's start. Alright, so that's my roles window, and inside this roles window I have to pick up the role name only. The ID is auto generated, so that's it. You have to mention here your label name or text, that is role, and then your text box should be of name. Okay, make it a display group wise. Now it's fine. Okay, so text box name should be role text, and the length of this text should be not more than 50 characters. Okay, so this is how you can ensure security and optimum software design. Now after creating this window, we have to do the code. Along with that, we also have to create a users window that I haven't created right up till now. So let's create another window, roles, and then after roles we have users. So Windows form and users window, okay, or user window you can write. Click add. Now look, that's my normal window. Go to its code and apply what? The parent class of our software that I have created in the previous lecture, that is sample2. So when you select your sample2, automatically all the controls are appeared here. Okay, so that's what inheritance is. Now based on the users table, you have to create the design for users. So let me open my SQL and open the users table first. Okay, databases, CMS and tables, and what you need to store inside the users table, that is the name, username, password, phone, address and role. So you need to copy this one and paste this one. I am just doing designing right now, then we'll do. Okay, one more thing that you must use from the very start, that is the FlowLayout panel. What this panel, why this panel is useful? Because it sticks every control with each other. It sticks every control with each other. Let me show you how. Look, when I drop my role label, look, it stick to the top. When I drop my text box, it sticked. I hope it is clear to everyone. Now what I can do, I can pick up this particular FlowLayout panel and make it doc fill. I hope it is clear to everyone. Now to make it arrange properly, so make it like this. Okay, so that's my role. In fact, of role you have here username, so the name of the user should come here. So give it a name, that is enter name of the user, and then that's my text box. If you wish to reduce the size of the text box, you can. Let me show you how. Let's say if you wish to use till this width, now what you can do, you can give the padding or the margin of the text box. Let me select the margins. From left it should be, let's say 20. Look, it is moving. Okay, so by default you can't move that, but if you use this margin property, you can use it like this. Now look, it is from the left and from the right, it is in between. Okay, so if you select this name also and give its margin to 10, look, it's fine. So how many margin is there? 10. And how many margin of this label? We have 10. I hope it is clear to everyone. Now let's enter other controls. So copy and paste, and then after name you have what? Username, password, phone and address. So it should be username, and and the text box of username should be pasted here. The length of this is, let me verify, it's 50. The username length is also 50 and the password length is also 50. So the lengths of the text boxes should become 50. Okay, I have copied and pasted, so the length is coming every time 50. Now copy these two and paste it again. That's my password. So password. Okay, so likewise design every control. So guys, look, I have designed my whole window along with the respective names that say this is my name text, that's my username text, that's my password text. But because this is the password, you have to make it behave like a password. So use system password character, make it true. Okay, so if you enable this property, this text box will be converted into a password box. Now asterisks or bullets will be displayed. Then that's my phone number. I have applied the length to this is maximum 15. Then address 150 with respect to the database, and then this user belongs to which role. So I will call every role here when this window will load. I hope it is clear to everyone. Okay, now the next thing that we have to do is to incorporate the grid views inside the windows that we have created. So for that purpose, let me select a group box, and inside this group box change its color to some any color first, and then give here the original color again, and then doc fill, and then rename it to details. Okay, instead of applying this group box on every window, what I can do, I can cut this group box, save my all windows, go to my sample2 window, and I will paste my group box here. Okay, so what will happen, on every window I will have this group box automatically here. Okay, so group box name should be details, and what else you can do inside this grid, inside this group box, solution explorer, sample2, designer, and select your group box and make it public or protected so that it can be accessible. So protected. Okay, save and come inside and build your project again, because you have to update your executable file so that it can be displayed everywhere. Okay, so build succeeded. Now let's go to the users window. So look, you have your details group box available already. Now inside this you have to pick up a grid view. So toolbox and select your data grid view. Where is my data grid view? It's available inside the data, and here we have, by default the data grid view is so much strange with respect to our theme, so don't worry about that. First dock it into your parent container, doc fill, and then uncheck the editing and deletion. I don't want to do anything, and then edit columns and add manual columns. The first column that you should add is SNOGV, that means the serial numbers. Okay, and the heading should be displayed this, and it is read only. Okay, so it cannot be edited. And then add, and then because that's my users window, so you have to write here user ID GV, and that's my user ID column, and it should not be visible. I will use this as a backend property. And then after user ID you have name GV, so specify your name, visible, read only, yes, and then username GV, so specify here, that's my heading and that's my coding name. I hope it is clear to everyone. So add, and then after username you have password. So I am picking up the password, but I will not display it because password is not publicly visible to everyone. So password GV, and password is the heading, and it should not be visible, but it is available at the backend. So password, and then you have phone and address, so phone GV and phone, and then it should be visible. And then you have address GV, so address GV, give its heading name as address, and click add. Now I think everything is I have given. Yes, one more thing, that is two more things, role ID GV, the role ID, so role ID, it should not be visible, and one more thing is the role name. So role GV, and it should be like this, and it should be visible. So you have to carefully create these all things and click OK. So look, your grid columns are now ready. These are my hard coded columns with respect to my table. And now what you have to do, you have to change its UI from background color to white, from that color to white, and then default cell style, go to its properties, alignment should be middle center. This is the default cell style, that means this style will be applied to every cell of my data grid view. And then the highlight color should be the same as of my theme, so that is my green, dark green, olive. Okay, so that's my contrast that will display it. And then what else you need to, yes, here the back color should be white. Okay, so click OK. So still you need to do some more changes. That is the raw header, sorry, raw header visible. That's the raw header, that the left hand side, this thing is the raw header. I don't want to display the raw header, so make it false. Okay, and I want my column headings in the center. So how can I do that? Default column style, do we have that? Column header default cell style, yes, here we have. And go to its alignment and click middle center, and then click OK. So look, everything becomes center aligned. And now what you have to do, you have to make it fill everywhere. So first of all, you have to go to the auto size column mode and select fill. So everything is filled with respect to the window, whatever the size of the window, it will be filled. And now I wanted to reduce the size of only this serial number, because serial numbers are not so lengthy or wider. So what you can do, you can individually go to the column, let's say serial number, and go to the auto size mode and select here displayed cells. So what will happen, only the displayed number width will be the width of the data, the width of this column will be. Okay, so I hope it is clear to everyone. Now let's copy this grid and paste inside our roles window also. And here, because we have only the role name, so what you can do, you can edit it, you can remove this column, this column, this column, this column, and this column, and this column. Only you need the serial number, the role ID, and the role name in this roles window. So I am working in parallel with these two windows, roles and role ID. Now what you can do, you can specify the insert code, and you can specify the update code, delete code, and the selection code. For that purpose, I am going to my sample window first, sample 2 window, and that's my add, edit, save, and delete button. So double click on your add button. So the functionality of the add button remains the same. Okay, and one more thing that I must do here, because I have used a flow layout panel, so the controls are within the flow layout panel. So what you can do, you can go to your main program.cs, and here you can specify all these controls with an overloaded version of the flow layout panel. Okay, or you can specify the flow layout panel directly if you are not using the panel. Okay, so it's better to have a version of all these controls with respect to the flow layout panel. So copy all these, make a separator line so that you can be able to distinguish that these are your different controls. Now look, every control is pasted. What you can do, you can change the parameter from here to flow layout panel. That's it. So flow layout panel here, whatever the controls will be in flow layout panel, enable or disable it. And then that's my flow layout panel, and that's my flow layout panel. Okay, and here you have your flow layout panel. So you have created an overloaded version of all your functions that you have created before in the main class. Okay, now close all these. One more thing you can specify, instead of doing overloading, you can specify an if else check on every function, that which type of control you are passing, either it is a flow layout or it is a panel. If it is a panel, then use the reset of panel, and if it is a flow layout, then use the flow layout. Okay, so I hope it is clear to everyone. Now these all are my overloaded functions. Let's continue further. First of all, what you have to do, you have to go to your roles window and you want it to enable this particular window when you click the add button. By default this role should be disabled, so enabled false. Enabled false means the role window is disabled by default. And one more thing that you have to specify here is the flow layout panel. So that's my flow layout panel, and inside this you have to put your controls and then make it dock fill and select both of these and do apply margin. Okay, because these are two separate controls, so individually apply margin from 3 to 10 and that's fine, and the width should be, it should be 10 also. Okay, so role, and the width of this is, it should be 20. Let us check what is the result. Now it's left and right equivalent, now it's fine. Okay, so that's my flow layout panel. Now what I wanted to do, when I click the add button in my roles window or in my any other window, when I click the add button, the controls inside this flow layout panel should enabled and reset. Okay, so what I can do, I can directly write the code in sample that main class. Okay, I don't have my main class here, so I have to incorporate my main class first. So save it, save your everything, because you have created these controls. So Solution Explorer, right click and rebuild it. You have to update your DLL file with respect to those methods. Okay, build succeeded, and now in references you have to remove this main class and add it again, because you have updated your main class. So main class.dll and click OK. Okay, what it's saying that it could not be added. Okay, so browse, because I have changed the location of the product from my documents to my desktop, so that's why. Let's go to the desktop again and refresh the location and products, and then main class, bin, debug and DLL. Okay, so that's my updated location, and now click OK. Look, it's added. I hope it is understood to everyone. Now when I have updated my data, so what I can do, I can come inside and write here using what is the name of my folder of this project, that is my main class, using cms.main class. Okay, so cms dot no using, what is the name of the folder that I have, let me check. So my class name is main class, so right here main class, no, it's not coming. Alright, so the reason why that my main class was not appearing here is when I have checked my main program, the problem was from the location where I have copied my this whole code, the folder name was also appearing with the same name, because I have copied that this particular code from my RMS software. So it was written like this. So you have to change it and you have to make it your CMS, because your particular project or this DLL is stored inside this CMS project. Okay, and the folder name is also CMS, so that's why I have applied a name here, CMS. Okay, so you have to rebuild it. After rebuilding, you have to go to your Solution Explorer, you have to go to your references of your project and remove this class. Okay, and then re-add it again. Then you will see what will happen. You will go to your sample, and when you write here main class, it will appear directly, because now because your project, this file is this class is in same folder. So main class dot, what I wanted to do, I wanted to enable my controls and reset. So enable reset or reset enable, that when you click the add button, the controls on the left hand side panel, that is the flow panel, should be reset and enable. So look, I have two overloaded versions. I can reset my controls with respect to panel and with respect to flow layout panel. So flow layout panel 1, what's the name of my panel? Okay, look, I don't have my flow layout panel here. That's another issue. So So what you can do, you can pick up your every control and remove this flow layout panel from here and put it here by default. Put it here for a particular time being, okay. And what you can do, you can go to your roles window and remove this flow layout panel also for a particular time being, because in sample window you have to put your flow layout panel by default so that it can be available everywhere. You don't have to add the flow layout panel again and again. So let me close it, and that's my sample window. So go to toolbox and select your flow layout panel by default and give here dock fill, okay, and the flow direction should be top down so that every control will come on top and down. So give here the coding name, that is flow panel, okay, and then save it and rebuild it. Okay, there's a problem. I have remove this code first, save it and build it again. Now the build is succeeded, and go to your roles window. Okay, reopen it after cleaning the project, clean CMS, because you are in inheritance mode, so this problem might occur. So open it again. Okay, it's not still opening, so rebuild CMS, build solution. Okay, so everything is now fine. Now it should open. Okay, look, so it is now opening and my flow layout panel is there, but it is locked. So what you can do, you can go to the designer of the sample 2 and flow layout panel should also be protected. Now save it and rebuild it. Okay, and now go to your roles window and you can find the lock that should be removed. So clean solution and roles window. Okay, that these problems might persist, so don't worry about that. Close every window first, everything, and then clean your project, rebuild your project, and now ignore these warnings. Now start your window again. No, it's still giving me the same message. No problem, open it. Okay, so let me restart the Visual Studio, then the problem will be resolved. Alright guys, so there is one problem. Look, because you have the panel within the panel, and I have changed my all the panels that are protected by default. I have even changed them to public, but still the protection level is there and it is not opening. So I must do some changes. What are those changes? That you can remove the flow layout panel. Okay, so because flow layout panel is not enabling when you are doing inheritance, and because you have multiple panels and panels within the panels, so that's why that is not working right now. So I suggest you to remove the flow layout panel from this sample 2. So let's go to the sample 2. We'll work it on later, no problem, but right now because we are in recording mode, so it's better to remove the flow layout panel. That's my flow panel, and let me go to its properties first, and look, its modifiers are public, but still it is not visible to the child window. So let us delete this and save it and rebuild the solution. Okay, now the things are fine. Now go to your roles window and do the same. Just go to your roles, pick up the roles and put it directly inside the panel that we have. Simple. And remove this flow layout panel. So when you have removed this flow layout panel, all things will be set, inshallah, no problem. Now save it, go to your users window, close everything, save everything, close it, open your users window. Okay, and select your every control and paste it directly here. Okay, and remove this flow layout panel. Now it's fine. Now what should you have to do, because the flow layout panel is not there, so you have to reset the controls with the help of panel. So how can you do that? You can go to the sample window now, sample 2 window, and remove this and what you can do, you can double click on your add button, so you are come inside the add button. Now main class dot reset enable, and look, you will find your left panel here. Look, left panel, the flow layout panel was not appearing and you cannot do the editing. So with respect to this left panel, every control will be reset. Okay, and I am also creating a variable that should be integer edit equals to 0, and by default the value of the edit when you click this button should become 0. Okay, so why I have created this edit variable? In order to switch between my save mode and update mode. When the edit variable is 0, that means you are in save mode. When the edit variable is 1, that means you are in update mode. Okay, so that's what I have done. And then go to your edit button and double click. So when you press the edit button, the edit is equals to 1 should happen. Okay, that's what. And when you press the edit button, what should happen? Copy this and paste it. Instead of reset, you use disabled function. So disable controls of which panel? Left panel. Okay, so all controls will be disabled but will not reset when you click the edit button. Okay, and one more thing, because when you are clicking the edit button, so the control should be enabled but not reset. Yes, so it should be enabled controls. I hope it is clear to everyone. Okay, when you click the edit button, the data in the edit button should be enabled, but it will not reset. Now it's fine. So what will happen when you build this project? This add and edit button the code will appear here also and here also in every window. You don't have to write the code of these two buttons everywhere. That's the global setting. Okay, now what you can do, you can go to your sample, double click on your save button and double click on your delete button. So double click here, what it is saying, save it. Right, so the error was because of the incomplete builds and the non-refreshed things. So I have refreshed my every software, my all software, and I have restarted my Visual Studio, and now I am double clicking on my sample 2. So look, I have the event of my function raised. Okay, my button raised. Now what you can do, because you have to use this save button everywhere, so you can make it public, and you can use here virtual, because you will use the overriding feature of the object oriented programming. So copy this and paste it here. Okay, so that's what my save and delete button. So what you can do, public virtual void, sorry, I have removed that. Now it's fine. So copy this and go to your roles window and go to its code and paste it here, and instead of virtual you can write here override, because you are overriding your save button and you are overriding your delete button. Okay, add and edit buttons are already there. Okay, now what I can do, I can further make these windows child windows as the to a parent window that is known as an MDI window. Okay, so hopefully you have understood in today's lecture that how can we design the roles window and how I have designed the users window. Okay, in the next class we will see the user authentication and the home screens and the connection string settings with respect to our software, and then we will continue. Okay, so thank you so much, take care, Allah Hafiz.